All right, so last thing for this section is decomposition of functions. And this one can be tricky because it's really more of an art form than anything. And sometimes there's more than one answer. So that might cause some issues with web work, homework. So if it doesn't like your first answer, see if you can come up with something else. So like I said, decomposition, more of an art form. You were really looking for patterns. You were looking for what I'll call an outside function and an inside function. So what I mean by that, if we're looking at f of g of x, our inside function is the g of x. It's inside the parentheses. And our outside function is f of x because it is outside the other one. So that's what I mean by that. And like I said, there's often more than one correct answer. So, for example, let's say we've got a function, h of x equals 4 plus 3x, quantity to the 5th power. And we want to find two functions that we can decompose that into, f and g, such that, f composed with g, there we go, equals h of x. So we look at this and we see this, to me, it looks like I have something to the 5th power, right? And what's the something? That's my 4 plus 3x, right? So that would lead me to say, okay, my inside function, that's my g of x here, is going to be 4 plus 3x. And my outside function, this is something to the 5th power, which really just means x to the 5th power. So there we go. And you can always double check this by composing them back and seeing if you get what you started with. So let's see, what about this one? So again, we want f and g. We want to decompose my h function here so that I did that. Go back. There we go. Sorry about that. So that we've got f of g of x. And so we look at this, and there's usually at least two good answers that students can come up with this one. They can look at this as being 1 over the square root of something. I'm going to put the something in blue. And that something is 3x plus 7. And in that case, my inside function, my g of x function, is 3x plus 7. And my outside function is 1 over the square root of x. Or they could look at this function as 1 over something, where that inside function that's inside the box is square root 3x plus 7. And so that would mean that my g of x function is the square root of 3x plus 7, and my outside function is simply 1 over x. Now, the only thing that's not going to be accepted here is if you tell me your inside function is x. That's called a trivial answer, and it doesn't get credit, it doesn't count. All right. I will remind you also that in the GeoGebra book, we have a decomposition practice here, so you can kind of say to yourself, okay, what's my inside and outside functions here? And when you click to see the answer, it's going to tell you. And then I think you hit this button up here, and it'll should give you a new one. You might have to actually refresh it. There we go. So this one's a little older, it doesn't work that great, but it's still good practice. So that's it for this section.